Penance RPG and its affiliate sponsor, D&Dice, makers of dice for all types of heroes, proudly presents Plummet, Falling in the Dark, a Penance RPG adaptation. This bard's tale, as is customary in these parts, may contain strong adult themes, cursing, and high adventure. For now, time turns, the path is open. Let the story commence.
Welcome to episode 39 of Plummet. Who are you? What are you? And to celebrate National Vinegar Day, what's your favourite thing to do with vinegar? Starting with Lenida.
Hello, it's Lenida. I'm playing Charlie Backstab McNabb. He's a tabaxi thief. And my favorite thing to do with vinegar is probably having it in my pasta salad. I think that's the part where I usually have it mostly, and I just enjoy it a lot. I love vinegar, so yeah.
Is that more
that would probably be it? No, it's really both. I sometimes use white wine vinegar and sometimes balsamic, but that's like the most part. I also use it in my chili. That works really well, but you don't get the real taste of it there. So in the pasta salad, it's really good. It's just olive oil and vinegar on it, so you get the taste from it really nice there. Yeah.
Fair enough. Next we have Amy.
Hello, I'm Amy. I play Frankie. I love vinegar on fish and chip. Like dripping in vinegar. Love the smell of vinegar. I open packets of like salt and vinegar crisps and just inhale the scent of vinegar because it's so good.
Fair enough. Next we have Squid.
Hello, I'm Squid. I am playing Karis, the slightly dismembered, disfigured tiefling thief. Frankie's obviously stolen the most obvious one for me as well, but I think I will go with making chutney. I love making chutney and stuff like that, and vinegar's a big thing in it. I think I would probably prefer cider vinegar.
Fair enough. Next we have AJ.
Hey, it's me, AJ, back again as Professor Sinister. Don't know why I'm talking like this. I don't normally talk like this. Okay. Vinegar. I'm a big fan of oven chips. Yeah, back to the topic. Yeah, big fan of oven chips because they're easy to cook, but you can't eat them without vinegar. I kind of debated going between that and... Have I told you guys my weird sandwich recipe before? I can't remember if we talked about that on here.
Which one was that?
No. Okay, so you take 3 pieces of bread. It's already like crazy because it's like triple decker. The outer ones on one side have peanut butter, and the inner one has Marmite on both sides. And then you put that together, chop it in half, and you sprinkle some vinegar on it, and it's proper tangy and nice and everything. And nobody ever believes me, and they all think I'm some kind of weirdo freak, which is true, but it's a good sandwich, and I think you should all have it. But the vinegar's key in that.
Vinegar and Marmite sandwich.
Works.
Yeah, doesn't sound too bad.
Pretty good.
No.
Sounds vile. Someone out there will try it.
Yep. I'm just gonna
I
get
heard my
Marmite.
If you
Yeah,
have,
Marmite,
Yeah.
no.
if you are willing to
Tweet
try
me
AJ's
at
sandwich,
AJ
please let us
Heritage.
know at Penance RPG how it actually went.
Tweet me personally at AJ Heritage 666 and tell me I'm right, because I am right. I just need all the reinforcement I can get.
Fair enough. Okay, and finally this week, Belry.
Hello, it's me, Bellery. I am Todd Saunders, pub detective. Yeah. I probably need to work on my film noir bullshit, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. I like vinegar. Balsamic's the best, it goes well on most things. Although, life pro tip, vinegar in your baked beans.
Isn't there vinegar already in baked beans?
More vinegar in baked beans.
So, after all that, we turn to Dragon, who has the storybook, and we ask what happened last week. So, Dragon, if you please.
Following reports that Ebony Darkness had been sighted in the local park, Mrs. Buttersworth, Stu, and Professor Sinister decided to investigate. After an initial plan to rush their target failed, the trio found themselves tumbling into a deep pit that had somehow been opened beneath their feet. Finding themselves trapped in a smoke-filled room, the party began to investigate their surroundings, and, hearing the sound of voices, Stu discovered not only the dripping wet form of Igneous, but also another incensed figure who turned out to be Barry B. Beesbury. As Igneous' rustic drawl bellowed that Stu left him to die, and Barry burbled out much the same, the two figures each attempted to grab Stu and drag her back to the portals from whence they came. It was at this time that a massive beast roared and charged forth from the gloom, a gigantic gingerbread man who seemed determined to feast on the form of Mrs. Buttersworth. Thinking this made for entertaining viewing, the Professor stood idly by as both women battled their ghosts until, from the mists that surrounded them, a troop of hippies swarmed him, offering him hugs and to share power. The scuffle continued for quite a while, with Stu barely being able to evade the clutches of her ghosts whilst attempting to help the Professor. But, alas, it was at this time that the gigantic gingerbread man tore loose the arm of Mrs. Butterworth, dropping the old woman to her knees, and to lament that she had indeed caused such a beast by baking her husband's ashes into gingerbread men. With her dying breaths, Mrs. Buttersworth declared her undying love for Professor Sinister, who refused to admit to feeling anything close to the same, leaving the poor old dear to finally snuff it on the floor of the pit. Deciding that he needed some air, the Professor covered his feet in a vial of goo that he had stashed upon his person and was able to leap clean out of the pit itself, shouting back to Stu that he would fetch some rope to help free her once he had got himself some coffee. Left alone in the dark with her ghosts, Stu managed to fend off Igneous with her weapons, but while desperately scrabbling free of Barry's attempts to pull her through the portal closed, slicing Stu's leg at the knee, leaving her lying bleeding on the ground, panting as the pit began to close from above. The Professor, returning several hours later after he had bartered for some rope and drank a rather pathetic excuse of a coffee, found no signs of the pit remaining in the park. Immediately accepting that they were both dead, he made his return journey to the safety of the inn.
And lo, the story continues. So, as Professor Sinister alone returns to the inn to meet with Frankie and the one-legged Karis, does he say anything upon arrival? Do any of you ask any questions as he returns alone without Stu or Mrs. Buttersworth?
Somebody get me a Chardonnay.
Jesus Christ.
You've forgotten the voice.
This is more
Just for you, or is anybody else having?
Well, if you want a drink, feel free to get one for yourself.
It's Stu, and where's the old lady? Where's Stu?
I couldn't possibly say. Probably.
What do you mean you
off.
can't possibly say?
Well, Mrs. Butterworth is in a better place.
Oh, did she croak it?
No, she was torn apart and is buried under the park. Better than
Ouch.
this dive, at least.
Well, she had a hell of a swing with that handbag of hers.
Yeah.
I'm sure she put up a good fight.
Not really, no.
What about that giant woman? She certainly wouldn't have been torn apart.
Yes, what
Well,
about Stu?
She seemed fine when I last saw her, and I went off to get some rope to help her out of the hole in the park, and, well, she wasn't there when I got back. Neither was the hole, but that's not my concern.
You mean you left her in a hole and then the hole disappeared? Wow, she finally did find a hole.
If you want to frame it that way, yes.
So at this point, your good friend, the Chief Artificer, appears, and he looks quite confused to see you all. I thought you all died. Shame.
What do you mean, shame?
Well, you know. Anyway, I think you should all know that the bounty on Ebony Darkness has gone up to 2,000 gold.
Well, have you any more information for us?
Well, rumour has it he's been skulking around the inn in the town square.
Well, that's where we are.
No, we're in the inn in the rich quarter of town. I mean the actual town square.
Well,
Oh,
makes
You
sense.
know, where the piss and the rats and the vermin all hang out.
yes, the city centre.
Yeah.
You mean there's an inn worse than this one?
Oh, there are many inns worse than this one. Don't you worry.
Well, we're a little short-handed. A few of us have,
More short-legged. He starts hopping.
Yes.
He looks
Poor
at Karis'
Karis here has
missing
had an
leg and he
accident.
goes, Did the woman
And
not
I
have
do
some
remember-
fake legs?
Do you remember Karis was actually using his Ruby Gen golem as an extra leg? So there's like a small golem's head stuck into his hip socket in his left-hand side. So he's got a small body, 2 legs, and then his ordinary leg. I mean,
He's got
I'm
these two
kind
blinking
of managing.
eyes.
I'm more worried about my dented cloaca. I just noticed him.
I think we're all worried about your dented cloaca.
Right, well, I've got a couple of small mercenaries that have just appeared on our books, so we'll detail them to meet you in the town square. And he walks out the door again. So, what are you going to do?
Well, Sinister, since you only just got here, let's have a pint before we head off, shall we?
Chardonnay, Chardonnay.
A pint of
Don't get that in
Chardonnay?
pints.
Oh, of course, Chardonnay.
Yes,
You know, a good pint is just as good.
you can't go wrong with a 170ml glass of the white stuff.
A 170
just looks at him.
glass of white stuff.
Very specific. Are you changing your order to milk?
Frankie's just gonna give him a skeptical look and be like, Sinister, you're not snorting the fairy dust,
Look,
are you?
I've just
It's not
been
very
through
good for you.
a quite terrible ordeal. I've just had to watch poor Mrs. Butterworth try and seduce me with her dying breaths. It was very traumatic.
She was a nice old lady who beat to death a mercenary who tried to murder you.
Yes, but she was a terrible bore. Not my type.
So after another couple of drinks and Professor Sinister explained to the barmaid why he doesn't want a pint of milk, you move to the town square. As you arrive in the town square, you see a sinister-looking tabaxi standing on one side who looks like he's quite wary of you all, and you also see your character, Barry.
He's exactly what you would expect a character called Todd Saunders, pub detective, to look like.
So are we talking like dirty leather coat and a pork pie hat?
I was imagining more like classic film noir detective with like a cigarette that never seems to go out.
Sam Slade.
Yeah.
So you see a gentleman smoking off to the side who looks like he's got his hands sort of firmly trenched in his pockets. A couple of minutes later, the two of them make their way over to you and inquire whether you are the contact they have been sent to meet.
Ah, yes. You're here to investigate the tavern too? Find this little shit.
Yes, we are. Charlie McNabb's the name, but you can call me Backstab. Don't wear it out because, reasons. Who are you?
I take it with a name like Backstab, we want to make sure you're in front of us at all times.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to worry about me. You don't seem worth my time backstabbing, so yes. Be safe.
Be very careful how you address myself and my comrades. We've just lost a few members, and I'm not particularly in the mood for this bullshit.
Well, I can see one of you have lost some member, but otherwise you look fine.
My member is perfectly intact, I'll have you know.
Oh, fine for you then. So
We've
who
never
are you?
clarified the status of my member, but it's fine.
All right. Let's not talk about members then.
You brought it up.
Yes, different member, but okay. Try to
Who's the
remember
miscreant
that.
with you?
Yeah, this is Mr. Todd Sanders, I think, but he can introduce himself.
I'm Todd Sanders, the dick assigned to finding out what's happening in this, figuring out this mess. I don't take very kindly to being associated with the likes of this backstab lad. I don't
Now we're
trust
back
you
to-
as far as I can throw you.
Well, now we're back to members again. What did I just say? Mr. Dick.
That's me, the best
Yeah.
dick in town.
Alright, enough. We have a job to do. And I'd rather get back to the nicer tavern in time for the ladies.
Oh yeah, so we'll be
Why?
informed that we're chasing after this Darkness guy. So if you have any more information that we've got, please share with us.
Just that he
he's
came out of
dangerous.
nowhere. Yeah. He messed up that whole town down yonder. Brought a bunch of dead people back and skipped town.
I think Mrs. Butterworth was his mother or his grandmother. I can't remember whether we clarified that or whether that made it into the last episode or not. But
His mother or something, just let me get that down.
yes,
That's all I
or
know.
something. Make sure you're right or something.
I just pull out a notepad and a pencil.
Oh god, it's Columbo.
As you're all talking off to the side, behind the inn, you see a hooded figure suddenly dart back into the shadows.
Eyes up, boys. Trouble's afoot. I think we've been spotted.
Are you going to investigate? Are you going to go in the front of the inn? What are you going to do?
Sorry, I thought we were already in the inn. Yes,
No,
absolutely.
you're outside the
Straight
inn, talking to these strange individuals.
Well, can't dilly-dally all day. Stride on into the inn and have a look around.
You get into the inn. The inn looks very much like another dive of villainy, as you're used to. You walk up to the bar and order yourself some drinks, and as you order some drinks, you see one of the regulars, it looks like, at the bar, leaning into Karis and looking very interestedly at his new golem leg. That's a nice
Just stare
leg
back
you've
at-
got here. Does it walk on
Yes,
its
it does.
own?
Well, you can see it is. It's got 2 legs of its own, so I am a tripod, technically.
I see. And, how much did you pay for it?
I found it.
Oh, you found it. Right, okay. That answers my question enough. Don't you worry. He seems quite taken by the leg.
I ain't sure I trust this. What the fuck is happening to this voice? Jesus Christ.
We've learned a long time ago that you can't do voices for a long time, Barry.
Right, I did alright last week with the Brummy.
You did, yeah.
I ain't sure I trust his heel.
No, he seems
Yeah.
very interested in the leg. Seems very odd. Maybe we should inquire more why he...
I mean, I consider myself a bit of a skirt fancy myself, but I don't think I'm that forward about it.
More than likely, he's going to try and kill you and chop it off.
I
Keep
would
an eye
think
on
that.
him.
Yes, I mean, let's face it, a solid ruby leg's going to draw attention. I'm not daft.
It is a bit flashy.
Is there sort of a back door out of this inn or something like that?
There looks like some stairs upstairs. The only door leading out the back seems to be behind the bar.
Would one of you maybe join me for a quick check around the outside of the inn? There might be some, let's say, less proper persons around. We might want to check our surroundings before doing anything else.
Well, I'm pretty sure you'll find some improper people wherever you go, Mr. Backstab. I'll come, but only to keep an eye on you.
Careful he doesn't backstab you.
Fine enough then. Let's have a little sneak around town, or at least the inn.
Okay.
Mr. Dick.
So you leave and head out the bar. The man at the bar goes, "Oh yeah, Your friends are leaving. Well, that's a shame. I mean, if anything was to happen to you, I'm sure the leg would need looked after by a nice person. Like myself, of course.
And Garrus is just going to take his dagger out, and put it under his chin, and just goes, "My appearance may be a bit disarming, but I am more than capable of looking after myself. Now fuck off."
Oh, I see.
Frankie's just gonna chuckle into his pipe.
I see. No, nothing aft like that wanted here. Don't you worry, I'll back off. You enjoy yourself. Just remember, I might be seeing you later.
Not if it's dark.
He turns to Frankie and Professor Sinners and goes, "That wasn't Ebony Darkness in a disguise, was it?"
Oh, one of his minions.
Probably.
Henchman. He's probably scouting out this bar.
Just looked to me like a common street thief.
Yes, that's the type he attracts, is it not?
I thought he was, well, I don't know really what he's into, you know.
Necro something, philia, mancy, one of those.
Necromancy, definitely.
One begets the other often.
Yes, the two go hand in hand. Well, something in something.
So you're handed some drinks. You notice at this point the one put in front of Kara seems to be fizzing more than the other two.
Very
And if that isn't an invitation to hallucinate, I don't know what is.
Is there any way of doing some sort of check without succumbing to whatever it is?
You can do a alchemy check.
Yep.
You look at it and you sniff it and you go, nope, that just smells like ale.
I think I just like, gently sort of think, "Excuse me, good man. Sweet sherry I ordered, not this
Yeah,
foamy
Shelley's the
nonsense."
sparkling one, innit?
No,
Do you not?
it's just sweet wine."
Oh. Sorry. And he takes the glass, glugs it back himself and goes, no, that was definitely sherry. Does something underneath the bar you don't really see and then like slams another one in front of you. It's still fizzing.
Can I take a look at it?
Yep.
If this is Sarson's malt vinegar, I might explode.
You have to be
I
careful.
can always
with
check
that.
as
You don't
well.
want to
They definitely
quickly
look at
take
it.
a shot of it.
You can drink it if you want.
I'm not drinking it, I'm looking at it with alchemy.
Is Frankie looking at it as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. No, I don't. Oh, I see
Frankie
nothing.
it's not what I usually drink, so I don't know. The professor's looking at it like, shouldn't it be a different colour than purple?
This looks like somebody's put some kind of lozenge into some Ribena to me.
I mean,
But if you
as
want
long
to
as
drink that, it's up to you, Karis.
as long as it's not poisonous, it may be fairly pleasant. Just take
I
a
cannot.
tiny wee sip.
It tastes
I
immediately
cannot
bitter and burning.
guarantee that.
Start spitting out. No. I think I shall just abstain for a
Barman just
while
looks at you
we're
and
here.
goes, look, and he puts his hand under the bar, brings out a bucket of what's got crudely written goat poison on the front of it. It comes from here. This is the sherry bucket.
That doesn't say sherry, my dear.
Doesn't? He turns around and looks at it and
No.
goes, S. He points to the G and goes, that's definitely an S.
No.
No.
It clearly says goat poison.
Well, nobody drinks sherry in here.
And they continue to not drink sherry.
Yes, because they're dead.
Or we just
I
just
mean,
'cause
not-
it's not sherry. I mean,
Well,
Oh,
serve
both.
this instead of cherry. If you serve this
No, I
instead
had any
of sherry to
problem
some
with
person,
sherry
they've
in
obviously not.
They come in here, bleating. Have to get rid of them.
that does sound like goats.
No, sherry.
Wait, who did you get the sherry from?
Well, we bought it from the goat men.
And who are the goat men? Just
They're the ones
Say
that
we
are
don't know
half
anything.
men, half goat. You know, big fellas, horns. Meh.
So this is
Tieflings.
poison
No,
used
no.
by goats.
No, tieflings are the ones with the skin. These are goat men.
no. I'm a tiefling,
We're
devil
all nuts
man.
with-
No, these were goat men. You know, furry type.
We're not here
I
to
can tell.
judge.
True. And where do they reside?
Dunno, they sort of came here, bought drinks one night, brought us the sherry. Next week ordered sherry and then all disappeared.
Turned to Frankie and Professor Sinners and goes, why would goat men drink goat poison? That does not sound very sensible.
I think there's been a mass murder, or at least an attempt of mass murder.
Sounds like a suicide if they knew what it was.
Yes, it sounds like almost like a cult suicide.
Oh, what?
Because they knew they were a cult.
Oh, that's upstairs.
What is? They live
You
upstairs?
know, the thing, What's her name? She's upstairs.
Oh,
Her
Yes.
upstairs.
her upstairs.
Yeah. Big girl.
Is she lovely?
Well, she cuddled me once.
Oh, I bet you
Lasted
enjoyed
a
that.
week.
And how did that make you feel?
Warm.
I mean,
Did
with
you
your with your feeling.
Why? How's it meant to feel when you get one?
Well, yeah.
Shall we have a long discussion with Barman about how the whole meeting girls happened?
Yes.
While we have this discussion, we will cut to Backstab and Todd. Sorry, Backstab and Mr. Dick. Fuck's sake. So, the two of you go outside. Immediately you see that there's definite movement in the back alley.
Okay, we'll very, very carefully move up towards the back alley and sneak a peek.
Okay. Do me a awareness check. At the corner of your eye, you notice that there seems to be a door hidden in plain sight, slightly open, and through it you can see some robed figures and some sort of glowing purple lights.
Okay, Mr. Dick, I think we should sort of go get the others and see what's in here, because it looks like there's a bunch of robed figures and some purple lights, so it might be the ones we're looking for.
I see that.
So,
I
yeah.
take it they ain't friends of yours.
Nope, there's not friends of mine. I don't dabble in purple light. I just dabble with daggers. That's also a nickname, but never use it.
Yeah, I say we
Let's.
I say we get the others then grease these guys.
Yeah, I'll at least try to get some information from them somehow.
I mean, that's what I said.
Let's go in and get the others.
Okay. So as you return to the inn, the barman is going, so what you're saying is that multiple women can come at once?
Well,
Excuse
Yes,
me.
there's no
What
limit on number.
What are you talking
as
about?
long
guys?
as you're honest with them from the beginning.
But how do you know which rash comes from who?
Well, that's why you go to a healer. You must always have a very good confidential healer.
Oh,
Number one thing.
See. What if you don't
Healthcare
have
is
one of
key
them?
for a healthy life.
What if you don't have one of them?
In a place like
Well-
this, I think just a dosing of bleach will do the job.
What's bleach?
Yes, just
Pigskin.
dunk it in there.
Would mud work?
What's a shot?
I tell you what
Certainly
would work,
try.
that goat poison.
Yes, that'd probably do it.
Would
Use
goat
it as a
mud?
dip.
You mean... Wait. You mean the sherry?
Yes, dunk
Yes,
it in the
make it-
dairy.
Don't...
Yes.
Right, okay. Exposed?
Truth be told, it will probably make the flavour slightly better as well after a few dunkings.
Yes,
Flavor.
sweeten the taste for your lovely lady.
Sorry to break up the party, guys.
The sherry does work on the day.
We sort of have a business to get on with, guys. We found some, and I will say this in a lower voice so no one hears you except for you guys. So we have found some shady characters with purple light in a sort of hidden door around the corner. We need to go get some information from them right away.
I don't think things going anywhere. What's this about the dame?
Yeah, we can talk about the dames afterwards. We really
key
need to go
thing-
there.
The key thing,
Right.
Mr. Sanders, is making sure you are open to a fulfilling and reciprocal emotional connection.
Oh, what?
Respect on both sides. Respect on
Yes.
both sides.
It's a partnership you enter into,
Oh, like
and you
the
can
pub.
get that. Well, sort
Backstab
of.
is just
I
gonna
have a
do a face
partnership
palm at this point.
with, with one tooth
My last
Harry.
partner was
Did you feel like you and One Tooth Harry could tell each other anything?
Well,
Have each other's
I
back?
once told him that there was a small fire and he got very angry and started killing people.
Oh
But
dear.
he didn't kill you.
No, he did kill Jim.
Who was Jim?
It was Jim.
Jim was the bouncer.
Was he throwing the bodies onto the fire to douse it down? Because that could be effective.
Well, he did
I'm sort of
smoke
nodding
a lot.
around.
He used to smoke this big pipe.
Ugh.
I like a pipe.
I don't.
We need to have a good pipe. Well, we've actually got something to do, but when we're done, we'll come back and have
Don't worry,
another
I'll
pipe.
put the sherry on ice for you.
Thank you.
We'll leave the sherry, but
He pours
I'll bring my own.
There's some ice cube into the bucket, and the bucket starts foaming, slowly coming over the edge of the bucket. That's right, innit? Got some nice sherry if anyone else wants it.
Frankie just gives him 2 thumbs up. Be best.
Like, Karis just shakes his head and starts walking out the door. Anyway, what were you saying, Mr. Backstab?
Yes, we have some really bad characters probably around the corner here in a secret door with some purple light.
It's a bit
Well,
judgmental. The GM hasn't really had them say anything yet.
I take it you would say that, Professor Sinister. You look like one yourself, so
No, I have a rich
might
and
be
varied
friends of yours.